Demonstration we eti ye catch am say ye person eya asomdue NDC aban oba ye almost say 3 shifts almost 24-hour economy almost input to Ghana 1 year 6 months almost to be about NPP 4 and almost person almost to be 30 years. The justice system now I am selective, and then when you end this media, also when you NPP now you take to prison, you are remember the sad part. It is your fault to control, your fault quiet demonstration, your nanti, no appeal your God who said MPP, that are such a nice so much time 2028. Dr. Mahama
politics of insult. And yet, training one of us can follow. Obia cassette obi, Obia cassette your man penny. Sabi can film by another men support the politics of insult. Because of men we are mamma at tea and we are poach and in sayers. And to Kabira John Dramani Mahama. What you only Panua? No, I find no woman as I want. A brand new prince. So I not your Yanua. Now, for me, we are seeing who said, the beneficiary of politics of insult. I know. Yeah, would see me what Kevin Taylor said on your medical your my perpetuate. If you buy another dankwa, or to Kuna buy another dankwa, then I don't buy my penny for. So I listen to not to reach him. And yes, yes, so Ghana first. It's your man penny John Dramani Mahama. So be yeah. Make us a much as wait. So Papa, I'm from Tuakukawa. I'm no more money. So Ghana first. I'm not woman of brat. I'm a woman of brat. I'm not the best of baboon. For Christian, you want more baboon. Yes, sir, I don't pay about when you are.
Anyabone, Yakasa to say, or Mamba demonstration where I am to put the end yet. You're free up to me, and yeah, demonstration because you say, Bibi Bosnia, demonstration one, you're missing the airport, your house, yes, your position, now you will be quiet. Your corporate 36 or your part of Fayadi play. 25 minutes for Emma, your part of William or Boyastro. What all light your way, Adriania way. Next, I want to touch a piano. Cabin Mammy Cabinada, what they are talking about, Swana. When a Bacasano Watson, make one Casa, make us a Miss Rose, and Quadrana, don't watch it. Are they? Yanagana Bobia Mana, Mahama, Yanagana Bobia Mana, are they? What vessel, Omoka sign, a quarter say. Yes, I want a sign, quarter say. Let's get the answer, make a sana. Yeah, I got a poor Mahama. So I get it. Your brother, yeah. Let's get another car. at the Democracy Under Attack demonstration, which is being led by the NPP. And I'm here with one of the big wigs of the party, Dennis Marcos Abuaje here. Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Now, I know you've had conversations and all that with a couple of media personnel here, but basically today, how are you feeling? Even just this week, we heard that your account has been frozen and all that. So how are you feeling?
I don't know about my account being frozen. I don't know about anything else. It's not about me. It's not about me. I think it's about our country. It's about democracy. It's about all of us working together to ensure that we improve on our systems. You know, we are very worried, and the thousands of people you see here are people who are worried about a system that is gradually breeding, with a government that has a deliberate strategy to suppress dissenting views and opponents. A government that has a deliberate strategy to target political opponents who they feel are loud voices. There is a creeping system of selective justice. You know, we are uncomfortable with that romance that is breeding between the executive and the judiciary, where now the executive, especially the some security agencies, feel that they can do anything and whatever at all because the judiciary will endorse it and validate it for them. We are very concerned about the government's attempt to suppress free speech. Initially, if you remember, when this government took office in 2025, it was about raiding the homes of opponents, going after opponents and what have you. When these things were coming up, I'm sure a lot of citizens and people thought that because it was NPP, it was okay. But because that thing festered, it fed into the system. And now it's moved from the political class to even ordinary citizens. You've seen ordinary citizens who are on TikTok expressing themselves being arrested.
Someone would argue that some of them are, insulting the president and all that. That is why some of them were jailed. I mean, we don't really know the main reason, but some of them are saying that they insulted the president. I
don't know where in the law that says that if a president is insulted, it's a criminal offense and that the person should be sent to jail. There's nowhere in the law. You understand? So what the president should do, rather, and the government should do, is not to arrest people they deem are insulting. What they should do is to activate the state institutions who have the responsibility to educate the population on knowing the limitations of what can be said and what cannot be said in the media. That would help ensure sanitize the system. Because the social media we talk about is a freelance space. It's an open source platform. So somebody at Ketekrachi by now is speaking. Somebody in Pandai is speaking. There are a lot of people who...
Media no munim no kra mo nka no kra mo san man no sami jamfi aka se na no do wu yanya no hwe na no do anya no hwe ene obi ko kasa TikTok no ma kwasinu mama.
What the president?
It may be CPP, it may be PNC, it may be PMP. But what you are basically telling the country is that tomorrow, when another party is in power, you see, no government will be in power forever. Even in our darkest ages, even with military rule, there was change of government. Even in military, even with guns, even when people were being dragged from their rooms and being shot in the head in this country, there was a change of government. So don't delude yourself and think that I am in power today and I'll be in power forever. There will be a change in government one day. It could even be your own party, but you will not be part of it. And that precedence of leave the people who are close to me to do what they have to do. But let me go after my opponents who are also accused of doing the same thing and incarcerate them will be used against you.
You made the point. I've heard NPP executives make the same point about, well, you will not stay in power forever. Parties will come and go. Is that to suggest that when NPP comes back to power, you would pay back, if you like?
No, I'm not. I haven't said that.
Okay.
I am saying that.
But the point is
precedence becomes law.
Okay, so you use the precedent against the NDC.
That's why I'm speaking. That's why I'm speaking against it. I'm worried about it, Evans. I'm genuinely worried about it. I don't feel safe. I won't lie to you. I told you I've written to the Chief Justice. I personally, I don't feel safe.
Why don't you feel safe?
Because I talk. I can't stop talking. I can't. I love to talk. I love to debate.
You feel your life is threatened?
No, I feel that my mouth will put me into trouble. That is what I feel. I feel that my mouth... No, I am just saying, and it's not just me. So the thousands of people who are coming on the streets tomorrow, that is how most of them feel. That if we don't have anything at all in Ghana, it is our free speech. It's our democracy. It's the fact that we are able to freely express ourselves without any fear of being targeted. That is what it is. So if you are in government today and you are excited, you are happy that some of your opponents are being targeted because you think they are loud, they have free speech and everything, you should be worried. Because what you are telling me, Miracles, is that when one day I have an opportunity to also be in government, I should also target people who are loud and are loud mouth. So I'm right. You've just validated what I am saying. So you are agreeing with me that in our justice system, the Chief Justice, the judiciary, let me use the judiciary, so I don't personalize it, is using its discretion to determine what they believe.
Yeah.
What they
That's believe. A prerogative of the Chief Justice.
Exactly. So it's selectivity. You agree? So I am not wrong.
But the fact that it's select doesn't mean that it is...
It is selectivity.
It is injustice.
You cannot define it other than it is... I haven't said injustice. I haven't used injustice here. I said selective justice. That is what I have said. I haven't used injustice.
Yeah. So but it's impractical to have all cases heard during... But
the problem is that... The problem is that...
Based on the
when you do categorization, we look at the character and nature and we know what you are doing. All the so-called high-profile cases are your political opponents. That is what it is. So clearly, you don't have to come and tell us what you are doing. Why is it that when you were selecting cases for special arrangement, not even a single murderer? So those citizens, they don't matter. The families who have lost their family members to murderers and other people, rapists, they are all criminal cases. Those families, they don't matter. You couldn't find one that was of importance to you, except your political opponents. That is selective justice. There is no doubt about it. You can garnish it, you can spice it, but that is the truth. I mean, that is the truth.
If you had your freedom on the line, you wouldn't be happy that your case is going to be heard quickly.
No,
and you believe you are innocent.
No, you see, it's not an issue of your case being heard quickly or heard slowly. It's about a system that ensures fairness to everybody. That is what it is. Why is it that the woman who has lost a father or a husband would not enjoy fast trial? Because the husband who is dead is not a politician. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you are selectively applying justice to the citizen.
You seem to be suggesting that there's more to this dispensation.
I'm not
around
suggesting.
Those
it is a fact.
What more is there?
No, I'm not suggesting.
Yeah, what's the fact?
It's a political case. It's not a political case.
When you say political case, what do you
It's not your political. It's not the government's political opponents that are in that list.
No, I mean, there are people who are being held accountable.
Ivan, stop
before
that.
A court of
stop that. It's 9 p.m. There are a lot of senior people watching.
No, but they held public office.
Yes.
And they're being held to account.
Yes.
Or they're still watching.
Yes. Why? The Auditor General's report that came now, 5.1 billion Ghana cedis loss. Are those people not in office now? Are they not in office? Which of them is in court?
But what's the point there?
No, the point is that there are issues in that audit report. Which of them is in court?
Yeah, but those cases have to be investigated.
Yeah, but they can go.
You can't just put
but those ones can
based
go.
On Auditor General.
But those ones can go slowly,
and that of your opponent can be fast-tracked. So again, you've come to validate my point. The selective justice, the selective application of our justice system is also obvious to all of us. I mean, it's become even now blatant. You know, I wrote a letter to His Lordship, the Chief Justice. I don't know if you saw that letter.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I wrote a letter to His Lordship.
When recently?
About a month ago.
Okay.
Where I atomized my worry about his relationship and his romance with the executive. And the fact that it's becoming too glaring.
Have you received a reply?
No, yes. I think the Judicial Secretary actually issued a statement to clarify certain things. Because I felt that the way he was posturing himself.
Is it on the back of his World Cup?
I mean, that was just one example. Okay. I gave several other examples, and I felt uncomfortable that you are looking too close. The proximity within which you seem to be moving around with these people, it's becoming too blatant. And it makes those of us who are obviously not liked by these people uncomfortable, because I get worried that these people, they don't like me. And they don't like me because I am speaking. I speak up. And so if you are this way with them and I have an issue, they probably have your ears, I don't. How safe am I? So I wrote a letter to the Chief Justice. The Judicial Secretary responded. And I thought, okay, it's fine. At least they've clarified certain things. But I am of the view that we need to keep our judiciary very far away from our politics. Far, far, far away from our politics. I don't take those excuses of comparisons. Those excuses of what was done, I don't care. I am a citizen. I feel that today, as it is happening, I am worried about it. I want to speak up. And so the tens and thousands of people you will be seeing tomorrow on the street are simply saying that the judiciary seems to be romancing with the executive and is making the executive too comfortable.
Where is the selective justice, though?
Oh, for example, listen. Criminal is criminal. There is no weight to it. Now, you have a lot of cases in the court, a lot of criminal cases, a lot of civil cases. Some of them predates even 2017, 2020. Every year you go on your legal vacation. This year, you are going on legal vacation and you say that even though all of you are being tried for criminal cases, I have selected a few of you. And as for you, you can't go and rest. You must go through the criminal procedure. That is selective justice.
Why is it selective?
Why not? Why is it that somebody has murdered my uncle, but that person can go on vacation? Evans, the issues I'm raising, they are very serious issues. Do you know the number of people who have been kept 3, 4, 5 days without being allowed to even make contact with anybody? And the abuse of the bail conditions that this government is using, weaponizing to oppress citizens. Let me tell you, today, most of these security agencies will tell you that you are better off with them spending a week than even going to the courts. Because they tell you, when you go to the courts, then they grant you the bail. The landed property, you have to go to Lands Commission or Valuation Board and get it valued. And that one, well, we don't know how long it will take. And as long as they haven't done the valuation, you remain with us. People have been in custody for 3 months in this country under this government. 3 months because of bail conditions. This morning, I was talking to a lawyer. He says he has a client that has been in custody of one of the security agencies for 9 months. For 9 months because he hasn't been able to fulfill a bail condition.
So tomorrow's protest is fundamentally about what you perceive to be government oppression.
It's no longer a perception. It's happening. It's a reality. The numbers.
Except that the complaint that is fueling the protest isn't new and isn't unique to the NDC. In fact, under your term, you just mentioned it, this legislation, which you have mentioned and criticized, was used too. In fact, my first encounter of that clause was under Kufuor and your government, which is this Criminal Code 160, Section 208, which talks about publishing false news. You used it. You used it at the time, was severely criticized. The last time our research team checked, between 2022 and 2024, you used it 30 times. I mean, under your previous administration. In the last 1 year, this government has used it 15 times. So both sides have done this. So this is not new.
Perfect. That is why when you come to office, you complained in opposition. When it was being used 30 times in 2 years, you complained, you raised issues, you called him dictator, you called him autocratic. The people, why do you think the people voted for you? They voted for you because you told them that this guy is an autocratic leader. He's a dictator. Vote against him and vote for me. I'm a Democrat. When you come and within a year, you've done 50% of what the person did in 2 years, that is betrayal. That is why you must be called out. That is why you must be hooted at. That is betrayal. Because the people went to vote for you simply because of what you are saying. You told them that you were a Democrat. As for you, you are tolerant. As for you, you will listen. You would allow everybody to speak. You went to their homes. You were having your microphone standing and then calmly speaking to them. And that's why they voted against the other guy.